Og! I don't know how to start this video. Why, hello there! Obvious way to start a video. How may I help you? Whoa, really? That's very interesting. Oh! Wow! Look, I'ma just be honest. I can't understand a single thing you're saying. Like, seriously, when the Peanuts characters turn 18, do they just turn into very off-key trombones? I mean, come on, can we just cut off the bit? We have another one. Were the writers like, who should voice every adult for the Peanuts? And someone just presented them a friggin' trombone because he had it with him and nothing else that one time. Alright, I'm calling off the bit. Hey, watch it. I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this, but the Peanuts were, and still are, incredibly special to me. I remember when every Thanksgiving would come by, I'd go watch a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and it's not even the nostalgia talking when I say that it's a really great special. The Peanuts always felt so remarkably innocuous to me, and I mean that in the best way. And honestly, I never quite knew how to grasp what it is that makes them so iconic to me, but I think it's the simplicity of them. Most shows and cartoons either try to make this a big huge spectacle or be incredibly funny with slapstick and humor that go over children's heads, or even have these very meaningful and thoughtful lessons that can impact the way we see a lot of these messages. But the Peanuts always managed to be its own unique version of impactful. To me, I think they were always supposed to be a lot more slower paced than most traditional shows with a sort of mellow and laid back kind of tone. It kind of feels like they were trying to encapsulate that awkward, almost depressing element of childhood, but not quite, where there's just enough happiness to kind of balance the two things out, which is a very nice in-between, and I admire that mainly because there's not a lot of shows that do that then, and certainly now. The Peanuts captured this unspoken strangeness and atmosphere, and you realize that everything's just not spelled out like people always expect out of life. It's that thing where simply kids think like kids, but there's gonna be that extra level of sophistication that the writing is trying to necessitate. Like, Charlie Brown is a very likable kid and you want him to succeed, but the running joke is that he will never succeed, and that's really depressing because there's really nothing wrong with this kid except his hairdo, because, well, good grief. It almost feels like the universe somehow conspired against this one boy as if he's just smothered with Murphy's Law or something. And because I grew up feeling so bad for him, and as did most folks of my generation, for mainly not finding a better hair salon, seriously, what happened there? Did you get it from, like, Supercuts or something? What's that? No, that wasn't a bash against Supercuts at all. I think you guys are an excellent You know what? Okay, can we just cut the crap? You guys stink, and also I can't understand you guys. You guys sound like trumpets to me for some reason, so good day, sir. The Peanuts movie was such an excellent way to cap off the wonderful work of the creator of the Peanuts, Mr. Charles Schulz. I was expecting the worst when this film was announced, mainly since the company behind the film is the late Blue Sky Studios, the company behind such great films like the 5 Ice Age movies and the Rio movies and the Robots movie and the Lorax movies. Hang on, that's Illumination. Wait, what are the other films?
Oh, it used to be a lot worse. They had this giant hammer. Oh, they brought it back.
Honestly, it's not that they're bad. I mean, the first Ice Age was really good, and then, you know, they do have a number of alright ones, but some of their worst kind of felt like the very worst of Illumination, just incredibly harmless, yet with no effort or thought to give it some of that substance of showing us that they could give a damn. Allahu Akbar! But then, after I saw Spies in Disguise, the last Blue Skies project, which was really good, watch my video for it if you'd like. And then their presumably future catalog, which was a movie named Nimona, and judging by the cover art and the story behind it, it seemed like it was the right step to take for a company that didn't really know what to do with themselves. But then Disney just decided to shut them down because now they own Fox and Fox owned Blue Sky, so apparently it was due to COVID reasons. Literally could have just given them a bit of a hiatus, but nope, why would you? You own a third of the world anyway. I mean, this is probably how it went, right?
Take me down from here right now!
I'm doing this for your own good.
Wait. Oh, no, please, Ralph! No!
I mean, Blue Sky Studios, although not the best animation studio in the world, was still a highly underappreciated company. And after watching this movie, well, let's just say that Schultz would be very, very proud. And now, it is my mission. My mission to avenge their legacy, and by doing it so, in the time of Thanksgiving, I will bestow a video of their one great movie, which makes it their best movie, and that's the Peanuts movie. A worry I actually had when going into this film was simply this. In 2015, in a time where animation is all computer animated and 2D being given the digital treatment, how do you bring the world of the Peanuts, this simple, quirky, edgy, but cute style from the past half century, and make it feel right? Well, you do it like the way they did it here, because this animation is gorgeous. The animation is as sophisticated as it can be while not losing the traditional illustrations of the comic strip. I'm kind of an animation junkie, so if I'm not speaking English, feel free to understand it in your spare time, but one of the most interesting choices they made in approaching the movie was how to design the characters. Like, they're 3D CG objects, but the faces are drawn onto the heads in a way that always feels like there's a physical brush stroke or a pencil mark of some kind. It's a strong stylistic decision, and it makes sure the characters feel like the characters we already know. Like the fact that Charlie Brown's shoes, for example, have this really tangible leather, and Snoopy's fur is made up of individual follicles, and it's absolutely astounding. And even the way there are areas where the animation looks choppy, but was apparently done on purpose to resemble that of the cartoon, which is the amount of dedication that you don't see a lot of. It just nailed the animation, and really small details like the way they moved in the old Peanuts cartoon, or the fact that we never see the bottom of Snoopy's house, which is a great detail to pick up on. Of course, where the movie really shines for me though is the writing. The writing in this movie, to me anyway, really felt like classic Peanuts. Unlike most other animated movies nowadays that have to have some sense of adventure or huge conflict, this movie decides to take a step back and instead give us the classic slice of life type of storyline. Basically, on one end, it has the ever so famous plot of Charlie Brown trying to impress the little red-haired girl, while Snoopy gets his own storyline and adventure where his imagination runs wild, leading to a few clashes with his nemesis, the Red Baron, in World War I, you know, just very run-of-the-mill stuff. Then there are a series of amusing scenes which lead to our hero having received a perfect score on a school pretest. He is treated as royalty, but he must deal with some dose of reality. Sure, it uses a lot of tropes found in previous Peanut specials. In fact, a lot of the famous gags are in the movie.
If I were something and she was nothing, I could talk to her. Or if she was nothing and I was nothing, I could talk to her. But she's something, and I'm nothing.
Oh, my sweet Babu. Isn't he the cutest thing?
Whoa! Check out the news and that funny-looking kid with the big nose.
I've been kissed by a dog. I have dog germs. Get hot water. Get some disinfectant. Get some iodine.
Okay, that is the last time you were gonna pull that crap.
But I don't really mind, since they not only do new things with those tropes, but also fix some of the flaws of those stories. And it's interwoven in a way that doesn't feel forced, but natural.
Hi, I'm Brown Charlie. Barney Clown.
You know, Brown Charlie was actually the original name for Pigpen, but then they realized that it was a little too similar to Charlie Brown, and yes, I'm making this up because I really do love that line. And if you're wondering, no, this movie does not have any pop cultural references, so thankfully this movie will actually age well. Which, by the way, is something to heavily praise, because rather than try to implement modern elements into the world of the Peanuts, it still remains where it's always been, which is a simple suburban environment. If they had tried to modernize the Peanuts and try to make them hip, and it would have just crashed and burned, but thankfully they didn't deviate one bit. I'll admit that I do have a couple of issues with the film, and issues that I never thought I'd have, but here we are. And one of them is the slapstick. It sometimes feels like a little too much. It's one of the few times that I said to myself in a movie, I wish this would be slower. And I don't say that lightly. And also, the ending of the film perhaps was a bit of a cop-out, very similar to the Muppets reboot, but this movie does it a little better, especially the fact that this is the one time where everything goes Charlie Brown's way, and I kinda just feel happy for him. Nonetheless, The Peanuts is an excellent film. This movie makes me feel so nostalgic. Sure, I have some little nitpicks, but I'm not one to complain when a product of the past gets its fair treatment on the big screen, and that's precisely what the Peanuts movie gets. A very fair, very funny, thoroughly charming revitalization of characters that to many feel like old friends, created by unique and colorful animation that effectively blends styles of the past and the present, thanks to Blue Sky Studios. It's really that rare that Hollywood gets it right. Blue Sky kept things simple, much like the classic Peanuts formula, and that's something I can appreciate. While this movie isn't big, hell, it didn't even become that big of a smash in the box office, its charming simplicity and loyalty to the comics and specials is what makes this movie so grand. The Peanuts movie is a wonderful tribute to the comic strip, one that doesn't predict its existence entirely on the nostalgia and warmth provided by the original source material, and one that doesn't get so blindsided by the glitz of Hollywood excess that it abandons its roots. So I'm gonna give the Peanuts movie a 9 out of 10. This is one of my favorite animated movies because of its pure goodness. This rendition manages to capture what we love so much about the classic Peanuts, and it incorporates it with a new, unique twist that provides a nostalgic but fresh take on the characters that we hold so dearly that might have come from Schultz himself.